Good evening. Welcome into Purmort Field at Bernlohr Stadium. Jimmy Bloomfield flying solo tonight as Capital takes on John Carroll University. The Blue Streaks coming in unbeaten in conference play at 2-0. And Capital coming in OAC play also at 2-0. These are the two lone unbeatens in OAC play as we stand here at 6:45 on October 6th. So the winner of tonight's game is going to be alone in first place, unbeaten, and hold a huge edge over the other with a head-to-head tie break as well. So a pretty massive game, even though we're only at Game 3 in conference play. Again, I'm Jimmy Bloomfield. Thanks for tuning in here tonight. It is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a loud one as well. Good crowd here on hand already with more filing in as we are about 14 minutes away from starting things here at Bernlohr. Let's get you caught up on men's soccer here. The last few games have been on the road for a while since our last broadcast at against Ohio Wesleyan. And two victories on the road, obviously, with the 2-0 conference record. First, back against Baldwin Wallace on September 29th. Capital 5-1 victors in that one. 4 goals scored in the first half of that game. Chewy Gordon scored the first 2 goals. Daniel Boonshoe scored the third. Tristan Bentley and Sam Spurk, the other 2 goal scorers, as Capital takes a 5-1 victory over Baldwin Wallace. In the game, Logan Weidman collected 6 saves as well. Then it was on to Heidelberg on Wednesday afternoon, and a 2-1 victory for the men as well. They allowed a goal in the 9th minute, and then Daniel Boonshoe and Luke Moraes each scored their 5th goal of the season. Capital was actually outshot in the game 14-7. And I actually talked with Coach Yost a little bit in the lobby here at the Cap Center. Wasn't the cleanest game, he said, basically, but they escaped with a win. That's all that matters, and definitely got to get up for this one with a better effort. So we'll see if that resonates here in the game today. 4 saves made by Logan Weidman, by the way, in that victory. So as things currently sit in the OAC, 2 teams have played 3 games. The rest have played just 2. Capital and John Carroll sit at 2-0 atop the conference. Wilmington, a surprise team that we've talked about on the women's side. Well, the men's team is also off to a great start behind the leadership of their main goal scorer in Martinson, who has 13. That's Nicholas Martinson, obviously with a Scandinavian name there, Niklas. He has scored 13 goals this season, one behind Chewy Gordon for tops in the conference. And behind his goal-scoring ability, Wilmington scored 7 against Muskingum in their last game on Wednesday after losing to Heidelberg 2-0. They got a 7-1 victory against Muskingum and then a 2-1 win against Mount Union in overtime earlier today. So a great start for Wilmington. They're at 2-1 in conference play, currently alone in 3rd place. We have 4 teams that have split their 2-game openers. Ohio Northern, Baldwin Wallace, Otterbein, and Heidelberg all sit at 1-1 currently. And the Otterbein men, remember, defending champions, supposed to, according to the preseason poll, win this conference. They lost to Mount Union, who is sitting at 1-2 right now. So this conference is wide open as far as I'm concerned. And again, this game tonight makes it that much more larger, as Otterbein sits at 1-1. It's kind of a wide open conference right now, and both these teams still have to play Otterbein. At the bottom of the conference right now, Marietta and Muskingum, and boy, it has been a rough start to the season for Muskingum. An 8-0 trouncing against John Carroll, and then they lost to Wilmington 7-1 as well, so already 15 goals allowed. Tonight's schedule, I mentioned Wilmington already defeated Mount Union 2-1 in overtime. Marietta plays host to Heidelberg at 7 o'clock. All these games at 7. Baldwin Wallace is at Otterbein, and Ohio Northern is at Muskingum. And, of course, the kind of showdown of the night is John Carroll and Capital. Taking a look at some of the stats as well, I wanted to touch on, of course, the great seasons that Chewy Gordon and Greg Knox have had. I've been mentioning the school record in assists for Greg Knox. He's already tied the single-season program record, tying his own record, who he shares with another former Cap soccer player. One more and he will set a new record and continue to build on that for the single season. He's a junior, and I mention that because he's already at 27 career assists, which is second most all time, just 2 behind John Bloger's record. And I mean, if he keeps this up, obviously he's going to be the career assist leader by a substantial margin. So we'll just see how high he can count both a single season and a program record. And we'll see if he's able to set that new single season record tonight and hopefully tie the program record, get a couple of them. Because that means obviously Capital would have 2 on the board tonight at least. So we'll keep an eye out for Greg Knox there. He is leading the conference with 11 assists. The next closest to him is at 7. Chewy Gordon has 14 goals this season. That is number 1 in the conference. I mentioned Martinson right behind him at 13. And third place finishers would be 2 of them, actually. I'm sorry, Danny Ruppel and Hassan out of Ohio Northern. Currently tied for that 3rd spot with 9 goals. Gordon also tops in points. He is tied with Martinson there. Both have 29. Let's also talk about Logan Weidman, as he is 5th in goals against average at 1.01. And the opposing goalkeeper today, Liam McIntosh, is actually at .97, which is 3rd in the conference. Some key players to keep a look at for John Carroll in this one. Brian Lutz leads the team with 4 goals and 2 assists, 10 points total. He's made 3 penalty kicks as well in 3 attempts, so that's where 4 of his goals have come from. But this is a deep team. Sarissimo has 3 goals this season. Burrington has 3. Kineckinet has 2, as well as Nigro and Meti, as well as Jared McDowell. So they've got several players who can score on this team. They have 2.3 goals per game and 1.2 goals against per game. For comparison's sake, Capital at 3.3 goals per game and .092 goals against. So it figures to be an advantage for Capital, not only on the scoreboard in terms of just goals per game and the higher powered offense and defense, but they're also here at home. So it'll be really interesting to see how this game starts off. Want to keep that energy level high, and if Chewy Gordon doesn't get involved early, someone else from this team is going to have to step up. Daniel Boonshoe has scored a goal in each of his last 2 games in OAC play, remember. So he's stepped up. Moraes has stepped up as well, both of them with 5 goals. Sam Spurk has been a late spark for Capital off the bench as well. He has 3 goals now on the season. And, of course, Chewy Gordon leading the way with 14. 24 shots on goal, and he has 14 goals at 57% shot percentage. That's just a ridiculous number. So John Carroll is definitely going to have their hands full with Chewy here tonight. Capital will have to try to limit a diverse offense from John Carroll. Not one player that really sticks out. Obviously, Lutz has 4 goals, the senior out of Akron, the captain. But at the same time, you know, he's got a lot of help, and there's no, star scorer. And we've kind of talked about this with the women's team. Sometimes that makes it harder because you can't focus all your energy on one player. There's several that can be a problem today on the other side for John Carroll. So Capital's going to have to just kind of stay disciplined throughout this contest. Our starting lineups will be announced here momentarily. And as a spoiler, I'll go through them real quick. Logan Weidman is in net for Capital, and Leah McIntosh on the other side. This season, Weidman, 9 games played, 803 minutes in net, 47 saves, a 4-2 record, 3 shutouts, and 84% save percentage with a 1.01 goals against average. Very impressive numbers. On the other side, Leah McIntosh has played 7 games, 557 minutes in net, 6 goals against, a .97 goals against average, 4-1-1 record. And he has 2 shutouts with a 76% save percentage on those 19 saves. The starting 10, or the other 10 joining them on each side: Tristan Bentley, Brandon Wu, Jamie Robson, Chewy Gordon, Daniel Boonshoe. Cole Moskovic gets the start with Luke Moraes, Greg Knox, Sean Niemeyer, and Matt Shepard rounding out the starters for Capital. On John Carroll's side, it is Matt Nigro, Eric Rossitz, Brian Lutz, Chad Kineckinet, Jared Ianiro, Chase Furkhorn, Jared McDowell, Jared Matei, those are 2 different players, William Turretin, and Lawrence I'll try one more time here. Sursosimo is on the other side. Lawrence Sursosimo. He is a freshman out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Our public address is about ready to get underway here in our national anthem as well, so I will step aside for a few minutes, and when we come back, we will have our first kick here from Bernlohr Stadium.
Crusaders. The Blue Streaks enter tonight's contest with an overall record of 6-3-1 and are 2-0 in OAC play. Your Crusaders are 8-2 this season and 2-0 in the OAC. And now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting John Carroll University Blue Streaks. In goal, number 1, Liam McIntosh. Number 4, Matt Nairo. Number 8, Eric Rositz. Number 10, Brian Lutz. Number 11, Chad Kanakanat. Number 13, Jared Iannaro. Number 15, Chase Ferncorn. Number 17, Jared McDowell. Number 21, Jared Matai. Number 23, William Turretin. Number 25, Lawrence Sursosimo. The Blue Streaks are coached by head coach Hector Marinaro. He is assisted by Dejan Mladenovic, Oliver Condell, Justin Miller, and Jesse Marinaro. And now the starting lineup for your Capital University Crusaders. In goal, a senior from Cincinnati, number 1, Logan Weidman. In the midfield, a junior from Cincinnati, number 3, Tristan Bentley. In defense, a junior from Hilliard, number 5, Brandon Wu. In the midfield, a junior from Canal Winchester, number 7, Jamie Robson. At forward, a senior from Westerville, number 9, Chewy Gordon. In the midfield, a senior from Cincinnati, number 10, Daniel Boonshoe. In defense, a junior from Novi, Michigan, number 15, Cole Moskovic. At forward, a senior from Westerville, number 19, Luke Moraes. In defense, a junior from Oxford, Michigan, number 25, Greg Knox. In defense, a sophomore from Bellbrook, number 28, Shane Niemeyer. And in the midfield, a sophomore from Cincinnati, number 30, Matt Shepard. Your Crusaders are led by head coach Alan Yost. He is assisted by Billy Thompson, Giovanni Salinas, Ryan McClay, and Alexander Basiakos. And now, fans, if you would please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Just a reminder that Capital University and the Ohio Athletic Conference promote good sportsmanship at all of their athletic events. The use of alcohol, tobacco products, or other controlled substances is not permitted at Bernlohr Stadium. Also, profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at student athletes, coaches, officials, or other team representatives will not be tolerated in or removal from the stadium.
Hey, welcome back upstairs into the broadcast booth. Let's reset. John Carroll University in town. Jimmy Bloomfield riding solo tonight, bringing you a big showdown in OAC play. Both teams 2-0. Both teams the only unbeaten teams left in conference play. So something has to give here tonight. Capital 8-2, 2-0 in conference play. John Carroll 6-3-1 overall, 2-0 in conference play. Hector Marinero leading the side for John Carroll in his 13th year. And for Capital, it's Alan Yost in his 7th year. And again, this might be the best team that Coach Yost has had here at Capital. "45 minutes set on the clock. Let's get this thing going." John Carroll in the Navy uniforms moving from right to left. Capital in the white uniform with purple shorts, gray stripes across the white jerseys, moving from left to right. Pretty good crowd on hand tonight. It is hot and humid here in Bexley, Ohio. Weird to say that on October 6th, but that's the weather situation here. It will probably cool as the sun goes down. That's been the traditional weather here the last few days. Leah McIntosh in net. In the green jersey to the right, and in the red jersey between the pipes for Cap is Logan Weidman. Let's get it underway. John Carroll kicks it into play, sends it down deep to Capital territory, and it is settled in Capital's territory after a couple balls get kicked back and forth. Up on the high side of the field there for John Carroll, trying to find the holes in this Capital defense. Wu, Moskovic, and on the back line for Capital, as well as Greg Knox, obviously. Those three kind of controlling it back there. It goes to Brandon Wu, who knocks it forward to Bentley. Bentley to Boonshoe. Now Boonshoe puts it out in front of Bentley. Bentley gets tripped up a little bit, and that's going to prevent him from getting to that ball. Might not have gotten there anyway. Shepard, as a defensive midfielder, is kind of a hybrid defender for them as well with Niemeyer. And Niemeyer and Shepard will move up now, as this is actually going to be a corner kick taken by Jamie Robson, the left-footed midfielder with a new haircut today. A lot of activity in front of John Carroll's net. Let's see the first corner of the game. It almost went in. Wow, it hit McIntosh and hit the post, and then he fell on top of it. And that was almost a huge break right off the jump there for Capital. Wu heads it, and Weidman picks it up. So Moskovic is in there today. Cole has been limited this season. He's just in his 7th game. Well, he's kind of in that middle of the defense with Niemeyer. And they've got Wu and Knox on the outside. Shepard's playing a defensive midfielder. You've got Robson and Boonshoe as your attacking midfielders. And then, of course, up front, Moraes, Bentley, and Gordon. So that's a look at today's alignment. Capital controlling play early on, but John Carroll might have something mounting here as it's into the feet of the captain, Brian Lutz, who looked like that might have been a cross. Strong left foot there. Might have even been a shot. It doesn't result in anything there for the Blue Streaks. We'll keep an eye on the OAC scoreboard throughout. We'll also take a look at the women's game. They're on the road, obviously, against John Carroll. They just got underway as well. And they, too, are 2-0 in conference play. It's kind of fun when you can have both of the men and women's team kind of be in a situation where it's both of them trying to kind of be better than the other, and hopefully both can run the table. That'd be a fun season, and we could have a fun week here, the first week in November, come OAC tournament time. So maybe a friendly little rivalry between the two teams and trying to outdo each other. Both could start 3-0 with wins tonight. free kick set piece coming for John Carroll. It's lobbed into the box. It misses Lutz. And actually, that was not Lutz. That was Matt Nigro on the other side for the Blue Streaks, trying to get a touch on that. It goes over his head and sails out of bounds. On the set piece kicked by Chase Furcorn, a freshman out of Olmsted Township, 6'3", a big guy in the middle of that defense for the Blue Streaks. Kicked upfield, Gordon trying to settle under it. It is headed away from Gordon, though. Jared Ionero getting in there. And it gets over the head of Moskovic. Nice job by Knox dropping back, headers it to Weidman. And Capital will settle things down a little bit. Good punt by Weidman upfield, hits Robson's head. Goes back to Robson after a header from the defense of Furcorn. Trying to get it to Gordon, it's kicked away. And one more header on to kind of get it out of the territory there. And now here's Lutz up the near sideline. Left-footed centering attempt. Backing up the play is McDowell. McDowell controls it. Knox defending. Knox kicks it out of bounds. And let's see what kind of throw-in John Carroll can draw up with Chad Knecknet, a senior out of Akron, out of famous St. Vincent St. Mary. Same high school as LeBron James in the Akron area. He just throws it in behind him there. Obviously doesn't go in towards the box. And the John Carroll midfield will try to work it up. Here's a cross, centering pass. Headed up in the air and then followed up again by Shepard. It's now controlled by Ionero. And Ionero goes down, no foul. And Capital again clears it. Defense standing tall here early on. 39:40 left to go in the first half of play. Blue Streaks have been controlling possession early in this game. It's on the foot of Matt Nigro in the defense, and he tried to switch sides there, and that's an errant pass. Capital will take over. They did credit Lutz with a shot, so it's 1-0 in that department for John Carroll on that left-footed attempt from Lutz a few minutes back. Some contact at the high side of the field. Play on, says our official, Jared McDowell. Leaves it for his teammate. Another settling pass, and it's touched in. It hits the crossbar of the field goal upright, not the goal. But a very good look for Ionero with the left foot. And it goes high, fortunately for Capital. That was a very high percentage look. And really a missed opportunity that John Carroll needs to bury, especially early on. Could really take an early lead and set the tone on the road. But nonetheless, that should be a wake-up call for Capital. Got to stay focused at all times here. Bentley gets shoved, no call. Wu drops it back, trying to feed it to Gordon. And it's cleared right back by by John Carroll. Good defense from Moskovic. Wu wins the slide tackle there. That's going to be John Carroll's possession, however. We'll remember that shot from Ionero if this remains a low-scoring contest, because that was a great look that he could not finish a few minutes ago. A minute ago. It came at 6:13. And just in the game's 7th minute, we are now in the 8th minute. Knox plays it up the sideline, trying to find Bentley. He does. Bentley has some space to operate. Actually, that's Gordon, excuse me. Bentley was crossing to the front of the net there. Knox with a steal. And he dribbles around. He has Wu here on the near sideline if they want to work it this way. They do. Here's Wu now, looking for a cross. Instead passes it down. And Bentley will win possession here, and Greg Knox will have a chance to set the program record for assists if you're just joining us. He has tied his own single season record with 11 assists this season, one more, and the record will be his solely. And he's also two back of the career assist mark set in the late 70s. And he's only a junior, folks. Here's the strong throw in to the center of the box. Headered over the net. That was Gordon, of course, with the header there and went just high over McIntosh. So McIntosh will resume play. Quick kick into play, excuse me. And it's played up the far sideline here by John Carroll. 36-10 left to go in the first half. Still waiting on our first goal of the contest. Couple of good chances, one on each side in the early going. It's played in by John Carroll. Looking over some options is Matt Nigro. He plays it to the middle of the field. Ianero playing it up into the midfield for Lawrence Sursosimo, excuse me. Trying to get that one out. We'll get it in a few minutes here. Just going to say it a few times. Sursosimo, the freshman out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I'll get to try to say his name again in a few years. Robson now contests Lutz, and Lutz kicks it away as a result. Sursosimo. He gets another touch on it there in the midfield. Robson now playing it forward to Shepard. Drop back by Bentley to Wu. Wu's been more active here in his outer back role, playing a little bit more up with Moskovic back there behind him now, allowing him a little bit more space to operate on the outside, as Cole's kind of anchoring the middle now with Niemeyer. Moskovic, of course, a junior out of Michigan. A lot of experience on that back line for the Crusaders. Throw in coming for Capital, so obviously it's going to mean another opportunity for Knox here. Knox picks the ball up and he's ready to go here. Oh, and another one that goes just above the net. McIntosh got a piece of that. What a throw-in again from Greg Knox. And now he'll do a more traditional setup with a corner kick coming from the right foot. Wow, what an absolute beautiful setup. Headered high. Knox kicks it in, and that's going to swing over the nets and out of bounds. Sean Niemeyer had that last header. Shane looking for his first goal of the season, I believe. Yeah, he has. Actually, that was his first shot of the season as well. He's a big target in the center back position, 6'4" defender. And 12 minutes in, still no score, but it has been exciting to say the least. We've had a couple of really good chances on our side and one or two maybe on the other side. No score across any of the games in action right now. Again, Heidelberg is at Marietta, Baldwin Wallace at Otterbein, and Ohio Northern at Muskingum. So we'll keep an eye on the scoreboard, maybe check on it in another 15 minutes or so. Left-footed kick upfield there, and a foul is called after the kick on Bentley. I'm not sure what the thought was from Ianero, maybe just trying to jam it deep into Capital territory with the contact coming. Kind of a late whistle. Two shots on each side, Lutz and Ianero on one, and Niemeyer and Gordon on the other. And another set piece coming from Lutz, and Lutz now makes a run, and Nigro will kick it. Nigro right in front, right to Weidman, and he'll make a nice catch on that. A little bit too much air under it. Traveled probably a little bit farther than they were looking for there. Weidman skips a few times and punts a missile. Bentley with a really good touch on the header. Gordon gives it right back to him. Bentley playing it out in front. Here's Knox. Knox tries to jump over a tackle. And that was actually Boonshoe in the midfield there trying to evade contact. Oh, that's got to be a foul. Yep. Called against John Carroll there. Very physical by Furborn. And now it's sent into the box quickly. That was close to a penalty in the box. They swallowed the whistle there, so no call. Got to be a little bit more careful there if you're John Carroll. Here's a big opportunity now off a steal. Sursosimo has it. I think I've got it down now. Back to Sursosimo. He's looking for help. Centering. And then drops it back to a teammate. Ionero plays it back off. Left foot kick. Working it forward. Now retreating a little bit. Nothing developing here for John Carroll as they continue to pass forward and then retreat back. Cross to the high side of the box, headed away by Knox out of bounds. Thrown into the box. It short hops its target, Matei. Matei plays it back out. Across from the baseline, the end zone, I should say. That's should be a goal kick. It went out of bounds around the net, but it's going to be a throw-in instead, I think, for Capital. That looks to be the case. Looks like Brandon Wu will throw it back in. 15 minutes and some change have gone by. We're still looking for our first goal of the contest. John Carroll putting some pressure on. Robson now with the steal. Hit off of Nigro and goes to his teammate in the midfield, William Turton. Now a steal for Knox. Good right-footed kick out in front of Bentley. Bentley trying to win a foot race right now with Eric Rositz. And Rositz now wins it and plays it upfield. No whistle on the contact after the pass. Sursosimo had it for a minute there. He loses it. And now Shepard with an errant pass. Cleared to Capital side of the field, and Knox will just poke it into the corner with some backspin. Wu is able to control it. Didn't want to play that back to Weidman and lose possession and allow an easy goal, so a smart play to just kind of pooch it into the corner and let his teammate run it down. A steal for John Carroll now. Sursosimo has it, plays it off, and that's a bad pass. It goes past Lutz and out of bounds. Huge break for Cap there, as that looked like some danger developing. Another throw in for the Crusaders. Wu will take this one as well, why not? Throws it in downfield. Another win for John Carroll on a 50-50 ball, but Capital still battling for it, and they get another throw-in coming now. Wu looks behind him now, sends it forward. Robson has it. Robson plays it down. And it's again taken away in the midfield by John Carroll. Not a lot developing for Capital's offense of late. John Carroll still trying to get a quality look. They've dominated possession, but still haven't gotten a really good look through this sequence. Whistle on the high end of the field. It's going to be a throw-in for John Carroll once again. Sound like a broken record. Blue Streaks slow things down, try to find an opening here. Now cross to the box, and it goes right to Weidman. who smothers it. Cleared up field. John Carroll wins another header off of a long goal kick, but Wu is able to stop the pressure for a second or two, and it's right back to Cersasimo. Plays it back to his defense. Rossitz has it. They're going to switch fields now and work it to Nigro. 26 minutes remain in our first half. Still no score here and no score anywhere across the OAC. Earlier today, Wilmington 2-1 victory over Mount Union, and they move into third place for the time being. Mount Union had already beaten Otterbein earlier this season, the defending champion. So conference appears to be pretty wide open, and this is a big game because whoever wins this game takes control of the conference from here forward and would have a tiebreak head-to-head win over whoever loses this game, obviously. William Grubbs has checked in for John Carroll, our first substitute of the match. Back heel, sending it towards the box. It's cleared away momentarily. Blue Streaks again. It hasn't shown up on the scoreboard yet. It's 2-2 in terms of shots, but we have been kind of on our heels here the last few minutes with the Blue Streaks controlling possession on this end of the field. Still trying to get a good look. They cross one in. Another cross, centering pass. Good look here, and it's miskicked again. This time it's the left foot of Matei, and he just pretty much whiffed on a shot from right in front, centered of the goal. Similar to Ianiro's chance earlier in which he kicked it high, at least got some velocity on his kick. This one just miskicked and pretty much a whiff. McDowell trying to send it forward into the box. It's smothered by Weidman. And Logan will slow things down once again. 24 minutes left to play in our first half. We're still looking for our first goal. Another steal by Lutz. Relentless pressure, really. And a foul is drawn by Capital. A chance to change the momentum here a little bit. Very strong effort from the Blue Streaks here on the road in the first few minutes. Robson will settle underneath it here and will get ready to send in a cross. Left foot booted towards the goal. It one-hops McIntosh offline from his target there. It's played upfield. That's a handball, but it's not called by McDowell. I guess it hit his hip. It looked like a handball. Robson playing it forward. Gordon is not going to get to this one. And it's actually kicked off of Gordon, too. Good defense from the Blue Streaks. About midway through our first half of play across the conference. We're about midway through our first half of play. And there still hasn't been a goal in any game. 0-0 in all four matches right now. Thrown in by John Carroll. And Robson contests. It's kicked forward. Wu battling. He wants a foul. It's not called. And now the Blue Streaks are off and running. Sprinting towards the goals. McDowell, he's taken down hard by Moskovic. And now a kick towards goal, and Weidman gets enough of it. A quick play off the free kick, and it's sent wide by Ianiro. He's had two great chances today. Two goals have actually been scored between Heidelberg and Marietta, the Pioneers, with both of those goals. Both of those teams looking for their first win in conference play. The Pioneers jump out to an early, actually the Heidelberg is 1-1, excuse me. The Pioneers at 0-2, but they lead 2-0 in Marietta. Corner kick, and that's going to go off of John Carroll. Nothing threatening there after the eye and arrow save by Weidman. 4-2 in terms of shots for John Carroll now. Here comes the Blue Streaks once again. And a shot kicked high. Looked like danger originally there, but it's just kicked and soared over the net. Capital looking to respond here. It's been, again, a few minutes, probably about 10 or so actually, where John Carroll has just kind of set the tone, and Capital is kind of just trying to respond and break through that pressure. So whatever game plan the Blue Streaks had coming in, it has been working to this point. Robson gets tripped and actually is grabbing at his knee on the left side. Rolls in pain a little bit here. Hopefully he's okay. He's been a big piece for the Crusaders and actually has worked his way into a starting role. He's trying to walk it off. Helped to his feet by Brandon Wu. And he looks to be okay. Jacob Taylor was mobilized, ready to go. He's talking to Coach Yost right now. Actually talking to the assistant, Giovanni Salinas. And it looks like the freshman will be ready to come in here soon. Knox takes the free kick and sends it over everybody. It's got some good curl on it. Stayed in bounds for a little bit, a bounce or two, and then it goes out of bounds. Through the end zone. 19:22 left to go. And now Taylor will replace Moraes, not Robson. Robson probably going to move up to a striker role now. On the attack, he does. Moraes has been out there, but we haven't said his name much. And that's kind of the story for the attack today, with the midfield of John Carroll setting the tone today. It's sent to this side of the field as we resume play. Taylor has been a fantastic freshman for this squad. Key reserve for the Crusaders, and they deploy him again. Capital trying to get something going. That's Taylor with it. And now Taylor is fighting with Matei for it. Moskovic backs it up nicely. Shepard to Niemeyer. Trying to find Bentley, and it's kicked away from him. Thrown upfield. And now it's a lofter downfield. Headed right back by John Carroll, and then a big foot from the right foot of Niemeyer to clear it away. 17:50 to go in our first half. Still no score. Capital trying to get something going. Baldwin Wallace, by the way, is holding a 1-0 lead over Otterbein now. That is a developing situation as the defending champs in the conference are 1-1 right now. And that's a Baldwin Wallace team that Capital beat 5-1 earlier this season on the road as well. But it's all for naught as Baldwin Wallace holds an early edge in that contest. Through ball had a little too much juice on it, and it rolls to the goalkeeper, Logan Weidman. John Carroll has been strong defensively to this point. Capital trying to find a crack in that defense and put some pressure on the other side. Play between the 30s has been dominated by John Carroll. Here's a chance potentially. just as I say it, kicked out of bounds, but Knox, with his throwing ability, will be able to at least put a threatening chance on net here with a strong throw-in. Knox will get a big running start from the track. And he instead just drops it down. So we don't see that very often. It's dropped to a defender, and then Knox kicks it off of a John Carroll player. It goes out of bounds. So now Knox has a lot more room for a throw-in. Sub coming on is Nick Scharfenberger. And Scharfenberger replaces Shepard. Scharfenberger is out of Louisville, Kentucky. He's a sophomore. And Knox will have a chance for a throw-in. I heard Coach Yost there as Scharfenberger was coming in. He said, pick up the pace. It's too slow right now. Settling out under that shot attempt is blocked. Good effort. And that was Scharfenberger already making an impact. He was on the receiving end of that throw-in after it got knocked around. It settled on his foot, and his shot, again, was blocked. Capital picked up the ensuing rebound, and they're trying to sustain some pressure here. To the front of the box, Boonshoe was there. Now Scharfenberger has it, dribbles forward, and couldn't find his teammate there trying to connect with Boonshoe. And John Carroll will clear. Knocked down by Moskovic. And now in the midfield, it's Taylor. Taylor's pass is knocked down. Second effort, he's fighting for it. Good spin move from Taylor. Gets a couple oohs and ahs from the crowd. Scharfenberger with a man on, had to just clear it away, and he goes down. He got kicked in the shin there. He'll be okay. Kind of limping a little bit, but he'll walk that off, no problem. A set piece coming for the Crusaders now as a result of that foul. Trevor Collins is waiting to come on and make an impact for Capital. Otterbein has tied it up, by the way. It's now 1-1 there, and 1-0 Ohio Northern over Muskingum. Hitting the deck on that attempt was Shepard trying to get to that ball on the outside. And now it is cleared all the way down. Weidman will call for it and scoop it up. And he will resume play, but first, looks like an injury is being attended to. So, Capital will get some water during the timeout here for the injured player. That is number 15, Chase Furcorn. Collins is waiting to come on. Furcorn is replaced by Connor Mendel. Collins comes on for Robson. Two subs waiting to come on for John Carroll next will be number 7, Mikey Burrington. And number 20, Justin Brown.
In the game for John Carroll, number 14, Connor Mendel. And into the game for Capital, number 14, Trevor Collins.
Played forward by Weidman, and we've resumed play now. Goes out of bounds. There'll be another throw in, and here come those subs that we mentioned. Nope, not yet, I guess. And now they come on after a brief hesitation there. Still no score, 13 minutes left in our first half. Some fresh legs out there now for both sides, trying to make an impact and find our first goal scorer.
And number 20, Justin Brown.
So there's the subs again. It's Burrington and Brown. John Carroll hasn't had possession here in a while on this side. They get it now, and they will work to get some pressure on Capital once again. Weidman clears it to midfield. It is off of Capital for now. And it's going to be controlled by Jared Matei. Matei, couple of head fakes, and a good win from Wu. Wu will clear it up. Field, it goes off of John Carroll, another break. Hit off of William Turretin. And now a good chance for Capital to get some momentum going at the end of the half. Boonshi will leave it for Wu. Basiakos coming on and giving him some instructions. Former Capital defender, A.G. Basiakos, his second season assisting Coach Yost. Collins with a good find to Bentley. Bentley tried to cross it back in. It gets knocked down and headed forward by William Turretin. Great effort individually there. The Capital player hits the deck. It's Scharfenberger trying to draw a call. They say play on. And here come the Blue Streaks playing on. Stolen by Knox. Cleared forward. Collins in a dead sprint. And it's going to go to Capital. Excellent effort by Collins on the high side of the field there. And let's see what Knox can do with this throw-in now. Headed away defensively by Ionero. Another cross. Trying to find Gordon. It's headed away once again. Pass trying to get it to the outside. Not enough on it. It's going to be kicked out of bounds. Throw-in coming for John Carroll on the high side of the field. Steven Shute will check in, a sophomore now.
In the game for John Carroll, number 24, Steven Shute.
Played forward by Capital. And now sent way up in the air. Lutz casually headering it towards Shute, the substitute who just came on. He goes forward with it. And now it's played back to number 28, Niemeyer. 9 minutes left to go in the half. Kind of some uneasy tension on both sides, waiting for someone to break through here. Who's it going to be first? Lutz crosses, headed away. Trying to follow up on it is Turretin. He sends it to the front of the box. It's centered. Headed again and then headed out. And just trying to get it clear here is Capital. It's towards the sideline. Kept in bounds and cleared upfield off Collins. Bentley feeds Collins, a little bit behind him, so Collins will slow it down, and now he sends it forward. Bentley and Gordon are down here. Here's Bentley on the near sideline. I originally said Bentley was working with Collins. That was Gordon, excuse me. As Wu now sends it towards Collins. Header to Gordon. Gordon is pushed off the line. Wu headers it right back in. And off the chest of John Carroll's player. Chewy has it, faces a double team, make it a triple team. Taylor gets tackled, and a foul called. A casual move there by William Grubbs, and he hit it well, but he did grab and throw Taylor. He played the ball first, but then the body was making some contact close to the body of Taylor. And again, he hid that well, but didn't quite get away with it. 7.5 minutes now. Wycheck will come in for Capital, and Evan Malpus will come in on the other side. Knox, meanwhile, sends one into the box on the resulting free kick. Collins, it just kind of settles on his foot, chips it to the outside. Capital has it in the box, and a corner kick coming as it's knocked away. Wychuck will replace one of the Crusaders now. Let's see who comes off. That's Tristan Bentley. And a well-earned break for Bentley, as he has been a non-stop motor to this point. Still a 2-0 lead for Marietta. Last update of scores before half. 1-1 in between Baldwin Wallace and Otterbein, and 1-0 Ohio Northern over Muskingum, who's been outscored now 16-1 in conference play, have the Muskies. Ball goes out of bounds. It's going to stay with Cap, and Knox, who just took the corner kick, will now sprint to this side of the field. That's got to be exhausting for him sometimes, you know, running from one end of the field to the other, but with how good he is at throwing the ball in, you want him out there with these throw-ins. So here it comes. Knox to the middle of the box, headed up in the air. Who's going to win the resulting rebound on it? It will be Capital. Dribbled back into the box. Two players go out of bounds, and it's going to be a goal kick for McIntosh. We haven't had to say McIntosh's name much, and when your goalie's not getting a lot of mention, usually a good thing. 5-3, the shot advantage for John Carroll. Sam Spurk, some instant offense out of Wilmington, Ohio, will be coming in next for Capital, number 8. McIntosh and Weidman have each made one save. Weidman's save was a big one on Ionero. Couple of missed opportunities on both sides, really, in this contest, keeping it deadlocked at 0. Haven't even had the ball kicked by McIntosh. He kicks it upfield now, and that's how the half will end. So a yellow card and some chippiness, but still no goals in this one. It's tied at 0 apiece, and it should make for a fun and physical second half when we resume play. Stay with us here on the Capital Sports Network. We'll be back in about 15. And both teams break huddle. We're ready to go here in half number 2. Jimmy Bloomfield flying solo tonight on the Capital Sports Network. Both these teams 2-0 and looking to stay unbeaten in conference play. Quick updates across the OAC. 2-1 Marietta in front of Heidelberg. 2-1 Otterbein in front of Baldwin Wallace, and a 1-0 lead at half for Ohio Northern over Muskingum. Again, it's 0-0 here. Update on the women's game. Apparently there's some weather issues going on up in the Cleveland area. So John Carroll and Capital have been in a weather delay. And they've played about 16 minutes of play. It's still scoreless there as well. And it looks like they're getting ready to resume play up at John Carroll as well. Looking for a goal here in this one on both sides. We are tied up 0-0 or 0-0, as they say. 7 shots for John Carroll in that first half, 3 for Capital. William Turreton, Jared Ionero, Lawrence Sursosimo, Chad Kinekanet, Jared McDowell, Liam McIntosh, Matt Nigro, Jared Matai, Chase Faircorn, and Eric Rossitz. The 11 out there as McIntosh plays it forward for John Carroll, and a ball that's hit up in the air. For Capital, it's Scharfenberger, Moskovic, Wu, Niemeyer, Shepard, Knox, Moraes, Robson, Gordon, Boonshoe, and Weidman out there. So Bentley out, Scharfenberger in to start the half. I'm sure we'll see Tristan back out there. A run for John Carroll here. That's knocked down. Pushed forward by Capital, trying to find Robson playing a striker position in the spot of Bentley. Knox with a big throw-in. It hits Gordon. Gordon's going to take a rip here maybe. Nope, he tries to play it back to Boonshoe. Boonshoe lets Wu come on and get it. It's back out to Boonshoe now. And it's stolen away in the corner. And played up the field. Throw-in coming for John Carroll now. Boy, a lot of action in this one. But still looking for that first goal. That one hit a body on its way to Weidman. He makes an adjustment on that ball, makes the catch. And now calls out some instructions before taking some time, and he'll play this back in with a punt. It's a good one. Across the 30, it bounces. Moraes trying to come on for it, but a good header from Nigro to his goalkeeper. And McIntosh resumes play. Again, there's a lot of action in the game, and this is now starting to quicken in pace, and that's what Coach Yost, I'm sure, preached in the huddle there. He wants this game to speed up. John Carroll's kind of been playing a slow, methodical approach, controlling possession throughout. And he wants this pace to get into kind of a shootout. As he believes he has more offensive firepower. He probably does. 3.3 goals per game compared to John Carroll's 2.3 goals per game. That one's out of bounds. Lutz doing a good job trying to save it and keep it in play, but hit it too far. Cap will get possession as a result, and they'll keep it here on the sideline. Rolled into play, and it's around the box. Nothing threatening yet, and that tips off a Capital player on its way out of bounds. Throw-in will result. Played forward, and it's stolen away again. Just haven't really been able to generate anything today. And especially in the area of just keeping constant pressure down here. It only takes one, though. It's crossed in over Gordon Robson off a volley. Left-footed shot chopped towards McIntosh. It's knocked down and cleared up into the air. It bounces Another header attempt. Scharfenberger got a piece of it, and it's going to be a goal kick as a result. So McIntosh will play it forward now. Headered right back by the Crusaders. A second header on. And now Boonshoe fighting for it. In the corner. And it's going to be a goal kick. Again, at least they're doing a good job now of kind of sustaining a push here. It's early in the second half. But just looking for an answer here. Keep some pressure on and wait for that one mistake and take advantage of it. Robson controls it. Scharfenberger has Gordon in front of him. He gets it to Gordon. Gordon tries to spin inside, and he's pushed off his line, maybe even held a little bit. Shepard now to Boonshoe, and he's being hounded. Drops it back. Wu, a centering pass that gets knocked down. Robson now with a chance to cross it in. Dribbles a few times. That cross really had one chance, and the window for that closed quickly, actually. It goes all the way back to Weidman now. So good defense from John Carroll as Capital was finally starting to get some pressure on the other end. The Blue Streaks have it now in the high end of the field. Good efforts and a foul drawn as well, clearing that upfield. Brandon Wu has had a very strong game from his defensive position. So here comes another opportunity on a free kick. It's to the front of the box, a little bit shy of the 18. And John Carroll will clear it upfield already, getting it out of the zone. Working it upfield. There's nothing here for the Blue Streaks, but they at least keep some pressure off, and it will result in a throw-in at least for their efforts. Tried to get a few extra yards there. Sometimes you can get away with that, but the official didn't let him that time. Thrown in. Played back into the midfield area. And John Carroll plays it all the way back to their defense. Furborn plays it back in to the high side on the far sideline. And it's going to be a throw-in. Connect has it. And he throws it in now. Not a whole lot of distance on that throw-in from Connect. And that's a trip, right? Yes. Gordon goes down and draws the foul. Here comes Cap on a counter. Knox, left-footed. Across in, Robson gets a touch, and McIntosh makes the save. And that'll get a big applause here. Again, been trying to sustain a push. And a good effort there to get something going. Robson with a good-looking shot attempt, but it is turned aside by McIntosh, and then he pounces on top of it afterwards. Capital trying to keep this pressure. Robson alone, and couldn't get to it in time. So a goal kick for John Carroll instead. Crowd is starting to become more of a factor. You can hear them getting a little bit louder here, as Capital has given them a reason to cheer here in the second half. And now another header forward, deep into John Carroll territory. A throw-in will be coming. Blue Streaks working up the high side of the field. Turning their attention now to this side, the near side. It's dropped back to Rossitz. Rossitz has been playing more of a defensive role. I haven't seen him play too far up. And again, I haven't turned up the crowd mic here. It's just getting louder because, again, more of a reason to cheer here in the second half. A lot of pressure being sustained right now. Robson with a kick to get it out of Capital zone. Played on by Iannero, and his shot gets blocked. And it goes out of bounds. 35-39 left to play here in the second half. Capital doing everything they can to hold off John Carroll right now and get some counterattacks going on the other side. They're doing a fantastic job here in the second half. Here's a chance for Iannero again, and it hits off of the fingertips of Weidman and goes wide of the goal. Iannero has had 3 chances now. 2 have been saved. 1 was kicked high. Boy, oh boy. 34 minutes left and a corner kick coming for John Carroll. This is corner kick number 3 for John Carroll. It'll be a left-footed kick. It's going to swing away from the net. It does just that. Sits right in front of the goal. And it's cleared out. Headed right back by Iannero. And now it's loose in the box. It's knocked away. Almost a handball in the box there. That would have been a nightmare. And instead, Capital does a good job of getting it out. Now it's sent right back in deep. 9-5 shot advantage for the Blue Streaks now. Played forward once again. Plenty of time to clear this away, and does a good job of doing just that. That's a good one. Out of the zone, it's going to bounce. And Gordon, trying to recover it, gets headed away by Furborn and sent right back upfield. Offsides called against the Blue Streaks, the first offsides of the match for either side. Free kick coming from Weidman on the offsides. To the front of the box. Robson recovers. It went too far off of him trying to trap that and control it. And, this is trouble. Good job by Moskovic to at least knock it away as McDowell was coming down on his own there. That ball's going to land out of bounds. Oh, that one hit right off of the sternum or maybe the stomach of Robson, who's a little bit slow. That was kicked directly into him. And he is still kind of wobbling around here on the near side trying to recover. Robson just keeled over, trying to walk it off, and that's a hard kick. He looks to be okay. He's been tough today. Also got hit in the knee earlier. Was able to stay in and toughen through that as well. Throw in coming from Knox. And a foul called against Capital. That was right in front of the goal. Pretty much a perfect placement of that throw-in. Upfield it goes, past midfield. 30 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this game. We're still looking for our first goal. That ball is still loose. Gordon to Boonshoe. Gordon goes down, and there's a whistle for the foul. Sent into play quickly by Capital. Moraes will let it go out of bounds so Knox can throw it in. 2 subs waiting to come on for John Carroll. One of them is Justin Brown. Let's see what Greg can do here. Still looking for 1 assist to set a new school record for a single season. And it's headed high by Shepard, I believe. Might have been Niemeyer. Other sub besides Brown is Evan Malpas. It was actually Niemeyer who headed that last one there on the throw-in. Set back into play. 29 minutes left. 1 might be enough tonight with the way things are going, but there's been close chances on each side as well, so with that being said, maybe 1 won't be enough, and we'll just have kind of a flurry at the end. See how this game progresses. 2-1 still. Marietta's out in front of Heidelberg in the 59th minute. Otterbein leads with 35 to go against Baldwin Wallace 2-1, and same for Ohio Northern, except it's 1-0, but the same amount of time left, about 33 minutes or so. A chance for Capital. Robson's loose, and it's going to be too far out in front of Robson. Obviously not the easiest pass to connect there. Trying to put it out in front of him, in front of the goal. McIntosh gets there first. Good effort here on the near sideline by Greg Knox. Jumped early to get contact with the ball. Knox throws it forward. It hits the body of Gordon, who's spinning in a circle right now between 3 blue streaks. It goes off of his body and out of bounds. McIntosh is forced to kick it out of bounds. Good pressure from Capital. Crowd becoming a factor again here. And keep giving enough opportunities. All these throw-ins are basically corner kicks. It's 3-3 in corners, but there's been more than a handful of these opportunities as Bentley's getting ready to check back in for the Crusaders. Knox throws it in. It's headed, and that's going to be a corner. And Robson will make his way over to kick it back into play on the corner. Meanwhile, Tristan Bentley will replace Luke Moraes. The Scharfenberger stays out there again, getting an extended run in this game. Good to get Bentley back in there right before this corner. Here it is from Robson in the left foot. Swings towards the goal. It's over the goal. Headered back by Boonshoe. And McIntosh dives, punts it away. Now Robson with a shot. The goal was somewhat vacated. Tough to see from our angle how much of a look he had at it, but it looked like at least a pretty good look. And he sends it wide. Each passing opportunity becomes larger and larger as the clock continues to wind down here at Bernlohr. Grubbs back in for the Blue Streaks. Meanwhile, it's sent into play. Headed on. And now Shepard plays it back in. It's cleared upfield by John Carroll. No real threat here, just trying to send it deep. Foul called against Capital. And the Blue Streaks will resume play for us. Goes out towards the near sideline. I think that was the Crusaders who hit it out there. They do, but just doing their best to just keep it away from a corner kick. A throw in there basically worked as a corner, kind of like Knox's effect. Weidman put his right hand on it, knocks it down. And we are still gridlocked at 0 apiece. It bounces on the goal kick, and Bentley was kind of getting held a little bit there by Nigro. They let it go. And again, it has to be pretty much over the top egregious to get a call, usually, in the box like that. But there was a lot of shoving there, a lot of grabbing as well. 24:08 remains. We're still looking for one that can prove to be the difference. Cleared up field by John Carroll. Plenty of time for Knox to play it up. It's out in front of Robson. Good spin on it. It's going to stay playable. Robson, maybe not that playable, as he did everything he could to cross that. And he wraps it around the goal as a result. Robson will come off now, and Tyler Wychuk will replace him. Looking to find an answer from somebody here. Capitals had a much stronger effort here in the second half. Very defensive game. As we approach 8:30 local time, still without a goal. Kicked up field on the high sideline far end. Blue Streaks have it. And that's kept in bounds. Excellent defense from the Crusaders, but the Blue Streaks get it right back. Making some headway now, and it's stolen momentarily. Once again, the Blue Streaks have it. Ionero sends it in, and it's headed away. Brendan Wu dropping down to make a play there. Wychuk now working at it. Scharfenberger as well. And the Blue Streaks continue to keep it somehow. Rossitz will loft one right to Weidman. Easy save. He runs underneath it, makes a catch. Good strong counter push, but nothing results from it. And now the Blue Streaks will try the same. Lots of headers. Scharfenberger settles it. 22 minutes left in the regulation time. And a foul called. Capital will get possession. Cramp. Again, it's really humid. The humidity has kind of dropped and subsided, though. It is a lot cooler. Still not very cold. But it's definitely, the humidity has gone down. Moskovic gets stretched out there. It's still 78 current temperature. And the humidity at 68% for what that's worth. Not a meteorologist or anything, but be played in by Weidman. 21 and a half minutes left to go, and it's headed away just like that. John Carroll wins this scramble now, and it's played upfield by Brown. He got it up to his teammate Jared Matai. Matt Cash, number 21 on Capital side. It's kicked out of bounds. And Moskovic wins possession for the Crusaders. Checking in is Connor Mendel for the Blue Streaks.
Into the game for John Carroll, number 14, Connor Mendel.
And a big throw-in from Knox. It's controlled by Gordon. Gordon dribbles and will win a corner. Now let's make something happen here. 20-29. Getting into the later stages of this one. Cross, and it's headed away by John Carroll. And it goes out of bounds. So Knox will just switch sides and throw it in now. Still 2-1 between Marietta and Heidelberg. Otterbein now leads 3-1, and Ohio Northern still just up 1-0 on Muskingum, who's allowed 15 goals in the first 2 games. So Muskingum has tightened up defensively, it appears. Throw in from Knox. It went over the keeper, McIntosh. There was a wide open look at the net, but John Carroll's able to keep it away. It had gotten, again, over McIntosh, so the whole net was available. They live to tell another day about it. Another throw-in from Knox, and it's headed out of the box. Capital trying to run it down. They can't. It's cleared away upfield. Knox will throw it in. Knox with a long throw in. And it hits off of John Carroll. Gordon keeping the pressure on. That's out. Yep, there it is. So a great chance now. Knox with another throw-in opportunity. 18 minutes to go. We enter the 73rd minute of this match. Here's the throw-in from Knox. It's a low liner, and it's redirected towards the goal, but it doesn't make its way to McIntosh. Hits off a number of John Carroll defenders. Excellent work by Moskovic, and then Bentley's going to kick that off the library. A lot of juice on that shot. Three subs come on for John Carroll, meanwhile. McIntosh will send it back into play.
John Carroll, number 7, Mikey Burrington. Number 14, Connor Mendel. And number 24, Stephen Shute.
There's your substitutions that came in for John Carroll there. And it's cleared to the sideline by the Blue Streaks, and Greg will get the arms loose again for another big throw-in. Throws it down the sideline. Wychuk controls it, kicks it off of John Carroll, trying to battle for it in the corner. He still has it, working against 2 Blue Streaks, and he emerges with the ball, and it goes out of bounds. Goal kick. And it'll be blasted away by John Carroll. Another chance goes by the wayside. Capital has done a good job with the pressure, though, this half, getting a lot more opportunities. Just need one to come through now. 16 minutes. If we weren't in the late stages before, we definitely are now. It's thrown upfield, and now Shepard plays it down. Couple of headers both ways. And it's controlled now by Shoot. Shoot loses it, and it's kicked out of bounds by Wu. Playing the safe game there. John Carroll with possession. The Blue Streaks also looking to break this tie. That's controlled by Knox. Knox just sends it away from the net. Gets headed back down. And now out of bounds it goes. A corner kick, I believe, will result from that. Looks to be the case. We are in the last 15 minutes now. Ball is placed right on the end line. I think it's a left-footed kick coming. There's a teammate hanging out by the kick, and actually it is crossed in by number 10, the captain, Brian Lutz, and it settles in the lap of Weidman. And it's kicked upfield by Weidman. He dribbles it up a little bit, too. Bentley keeps it in bounds and then kicks it off of the Blue Streaks. Taylor checking on as well as Moraes. As Boonshoe will come off. And I believe Bentley as well. Probably see Boonshoe come back in after a breather here. Obviously one of the key contributors for the Crusaders.
Number 17, Jacob Taylor. And number 19, Luke Moraes.
So here comes the throw-in. Knox to the front of the net. And McIntosh punches it away again. Wychuk is there. He gets a pass from Wu, but it goes too far. Now it's sent all the way to midfield. Nobody's home for Capital. Moskovic is going to just blast it down. And he angled it, so it's going to be a throw-in and not a goal kick. Just kind of settled on the wrong area of the field for Capital, as no one was there. Played upfield by the Blue Streaks. A collision at midfield. They say play on. That was Burrington who went down. Numbers here for the Blue Streaks now. Turretin starting play. Kicked away from Turretin. And now Taylor headers it straight into the ground. A good pass to the box. No foul. And it goes out of bounds. Boy, this is getting more and more tense as time goes on. Jared McDowell, and one more chance at Lawrence Sersosimo coming back in. Both starters on the other side for John Carroll.
The game for John Carroll, number 17, Jared McDowell. Number 25, Boris Cicerino.
Here, Coach Yost there. Again, talking about that pace. He wants the pace up. He wants this game to go quick in terms of the style of play, not game time, obviously. A set piece kicked right at Weidman, and Logan will listen to Coach and get quick. It's bounced out in front of Gordon. Gordon trying to get to this one. It's going to be a corner. And there you go, pushing the tempo, and look what results from it. Corner kick coming for Capital. We're in the game's final 11 minutes now. Here comes the corner kick from Knox. It's over the net and headed away. That was a deep corner. Goes to the Crusaders on the throw-in, so Knox will switch sides. Robson and Boonshoe, as well as Bentley. Actually, Boonshoe. Nope, he's coming in. Just kind of taking his time for some reason. Looked like he was waiting for the next round. He comes in. Scharfenberger's off, as well as Gordon. Getting a breather here for the final push, it appears.
Into the game for Capital, number 3, Tristan Bentley. Number 7, Jamie Robson. Number 10, Daniel Boonshoe.
Good activity in front of the net. Across to the front of the net. Moraes was there, but he's unable to get a touch on it. Another corner coming, and it'll be Robson to execute it. With the left foot, it'll swing in towards the keeper here. Let's see where they try to go here. No Gordon out there for Capital right now. Who's going to step up in his absence? Here's the cross from Robson. It's to the far post. That hit off of Niemeyer last. It did hit a John Carroll player, and it was kind of a ricochet off a header into the head of Niemeyer. Actually, Shepard, excuse me. Those two look very similar in build, so gotta kind of check the number as they run down the field. Quick sub for the Blue Streaks as Eric Rossitz comes back on. We are trickling under 9 minutes now. McIntosh wants someone to make a move towards him, and instead will blast it downfield, and it goes out of bounds. That's not what you're looking for there. Taylor actually. In the midfield, that's a foul against Taylor, just trying to keep his balance. And it's cleared up field. Blue Streaks trying to get something going. They might have an opportunity. It's on the corner of the box at the 18, about 20 yards from the net. A shot that goes high and wide. Maybe a little bit more wide than high there. Trying to bend it. It didn't have enough curl on it. And fortunately, it harmlessly goes out of bounds past Weidman and the net. Shepard with a good header out in front of Moraes. Moraes, a high looping cross. Bentley tries to leave it for Boonshoe. It's popped into the air. Robson contesting. And gets a steal. Robson stumbles, keeps his footing, and a ball that gets pushed to McIntosh. He scoops it up. All the way on the other end of the field now. 7 minutes to play. Into the box, a shot, and Weidman can't hang on to it. Tried to catch it immediately, but couldn't. And that's okay because it goes out of bounds, and it'll be a corner for John Carroll now. And again, each one of these becomes larger and larger, and we're looking for one that could decide this one. It's crossed. It's headed down. Looking for a second or a third touch. It's still loose in the box. Still loose. Sent towards the net. Someone there ricocheted away. I think that was Moraes. It might have been Knox, actually. But one of the Capital players was backing up Weidman. This ball is still loose, and Knox sends it away. This ball is still live, folks. 5:46 to go. It's kicked out of bounds. And everyone can take a collective breath now. But only momentarily, another opportunity. That one goes high and wide as well. Off of the field goal upright, potentially. That's why it went wide after the shot there. Gordon back in as expected, and Scharfenberger as well. It is definitely getting tense here.
The game for captain number 18, Dick Scharfenberger. Number 9, Chewy Gordon.
Five minutes left to go. That's going to go out of bounds and stay with the Blue Streaks. So a shot that nearly goes in that scramble. I believe it was Sergio Simo who had that last shot that Knox got in front of after it got past Weidman and keeps this game knotted up at 0 apiece. Massive, massive play defensively by Greg Knox, who if he isn't a first-team All-OAC player, I don't know how you could qualify for it with the efforts he's put forward offensively and defensively. 11 assists already for him on the young year. And the set piece coming from Knox with 4.5 to play. Gordon and that Scharfenberger in the area. Couldn't get a final touch on it. And we confirmed that that was Nick. It was actually Niemeyer, 28. I'm sorry, Shepard, 30. Man, he looks just like Niemeyer when they're running up the field. Shepard, usually a defensive midfielder, but around the net, he's such a big target that they try to get him involved in the offense as well. Taylor back on, replacing Shepard as they go a little bit more on the offensive side. Checking in on the scoreboard around the conference with 9 minutes left. Heidelberg and Marietta are knocked up at 2 now. 4-1 Otterbein over Baldwin Wallace after conceding the first goal. They've turned it on, and they look to be headed to victory. And Ohio Northern still leads just 1-0 over Muskingum. McIntosh catches that one out of the air. It's rolled forward. Down to the near side. Here comes John Carroll once again with shoots, and it's too far out in front. They're calling offsides? Yeah, that's the call there. Offsides against the Blue Streaks. Weidman wanted to kick it quickly there, but he was told he couldn't. And I guess the ball was positioned incorrectly. And Weidman's upset because he's trying to kick this ball in play, and they're pushing him back and moving him forward and pushing him back. And he's not happy with the officials there. So now he'll play it forward anyway. Trying to find a body. That was tipped. That's a corner. And quickly, Rocky Jorgensen, a 6'4" Crusader, a sophomore, will come in. He is a huge body, and he'll replace Moraes, who's only 5'9". So you improve your height about 8 inches by putting Jorgensen in, trying to find another target. Final 2 minutes of this one. This would probably be enough should they get the score. It's knocked away. Scharfenberger follows up. That was tipped. That was tipped again. No, they're going to say it wasn't. Scharfenberger thought it was. But it's a goal kick instead, and now Moraes will sub right back in. Maybe not. The official did blow the whistle for a sub. Spurk is now getting ready to come on instead. And neither will be allowed to come on. So Jorgensen will stay in there. Playing as an attacker. He's listed as a defender. It's played forward. And Wu sends it right back out. But the Blue Streaks get it back in. 1 minute left to play. Out in front of Gordon. It bounces. McIntosh scoops it. 52 seconds left. Will we have a goal or will we head to overtime? The Blue Streaks trying to get another push going with 40 seconds left. It's stolen away by Capital. Trying to control it. It's taken right back by the Blue Streaks across. Headed towards the sideline now. Robson keeps it in play. Gordon trying to settle under it. He headers it to himself, but too far away. That should be offsides, but it's missed. See if the Blue Streaks can take advantage of the opportunity. 10 seconds left. Just trying to generate something. They might just take a big shot here from 40 yards away. They won't have a chance to even do that. With 1 second left, they do, and it bounces in front of Weidman. Would have been wide anyway. Well, can't say I'm surprised, but we enter 0-0 locked up. Headed into an overtime. 5 minutes and then some more free soccer here at Bernlohr Stadium. Well, 90 minutes wasn't enough to find a winner tonight, so we'll try again in overtime. The Crusaders have been in overtime twice this season. We saw a game winner from Chewy Gordon on this field to complete a hat trick against Thomas More on the 22nd of September, and a loss on the road to Case Western, 1-0. For the Blue Streaks, well, overtime's pretty familiar to them. This is their 5th overtime game. They beat Ohio Wesleyan 1-0 in double overtime. They tied Carnegie Mellon, number 10 at the time, 0-0. Mount Union, who is ranked number 13, was defeated 2-1 by the Blue Streaks, and they also lost in overtime to Case. So 2-0-1 in overtime games. And they only lost in overtime itself. If it's gone to double overtime, they're 2-0-1. So you want to act quick here. 10-minute overtime. If it's not enough, we'll have another 5-minute break and switch sides and see if anyone can come out a winner in this one. If not, they enter tied for first, and they'll leave tied for first at 7 points apiece. Here we go. John Carroll to start us off. The Blue Streaks will move left to right. We switch sides. I think, no, actually, we're keeping the same sides, excuse me, as we ended the regulation. John Carroll has it in the box in not even 15 seconds. And that's the pace that Cap wants, though. They want a high, quick pace. Want it away from your net, though. Tried to clear it, got underneath it too much. We'll reset the field here when things calm down. And Shepard doing a nice job of clearing it there for Cap. It's Shute, Burrington, Matai, Ionero, Rossitz, Furcorn, Turretin, Nigro, Surasimo, McIntosh, and McDowell for the Blue Streaks. For Capital, Weidman kicking it here. He's got Shepard, Knox, Niemeyer, Moskovic, Scharfenberger, Robson, Gordon, Boonshoe, Wu, and Bentley out there with him. It's Bentley here. Make that Gordon, excuse me. They both have those shiny cleats. Another game in the OAC went to overtime, and Heidelberg, how about this, climbing out of a 2-0 hole. They get a win, and they keep pace with the rest of the conference. So Mount Union, who was ranked number 13th in the nation, is now 1-2 in their first 3 games, and they are out of a playoff spot if things ended today. The rest of the conference is set. At the bottom is Marietta and Muskingum at 0-3 apiece. At 1-2, tied for 7th, is Baldwin Wallace and Mount Union. 4 teams tied at 2-1, Ohio Northern, Wilmington, Otterbein, and now Heidelberg. And if one of these teams lose, they'll fall back into that group of 4 teams and be tied for second in a 5-way tie. And the winner is obviously a game up on all of those teams with an upper hand early through the first third of conference play. Boonshoe turns around looking for some help. Kicks it out of bounds. Off of the Blue Streaks. So now the Crusaders will have their first chance really in overtime. 2.5 minutes have gone by. A shot towards goal. It hits off of the post. Good looking shot there. McIntosh apparently got a piece of it because a corner kick is the call. Woohoo! Good rip there by Tristan Bentley. And we're going to say it hit the crossbar. Robson on the corner. It's high. It's over everybody. And it's out of bounds. Goal kick. Capital One on a corner kick in their lone overtime game here at Bernlohr, which I mentioned earlier. Found Chewy Gordon for a game winner after he had hit off the frame of the goal seconds earlier as well. Cap wants a foul. They don't get it. But they do get the ball back as Wu hit the deck. Wu has been a strong performer today for Capital. Into the box, and Weidman fumbles it. And good recovery by Moskovic to just kick it out of bounds once he saw the ball loose, and Weidman on the ground in the end zone. Corner kick coming. 4 minutes have gone by in the overtime. It is 0-0. Will we find a winner tonight? Cross. And it goes over everybody, much like the Capital corner. Pretty much a mirror image of that. Goes out of bounds. And it's going to be a goal kick on the result for the Crusaders. It's going to have to be a throw-in, actually. Knox throws it 40 yards. I guess we've seen his arm now. It's out in front of Bentley. Can Bentley run this down? It's headed towards the goal, but McIntosh comes out enough. Bentley keeping the pressure on. Dangerous header there. If that doesn't have enough juice on it to get to the keeper. Bentley is one-on-one. Weidman will collect it for Capital on the other side now. Boy, oh boy, this has been a fun one. We just want to see a game winner for the Crusaders. Weidman with a punt across midfield. Wu will play it on. Wu has done a phenomenal job tonight. I keep saying it, but it bears mentioning over and over the effort he's given from his outer back position, generating offense, and doing a good job of preventing goal scoring on the other side, obviously, his main job as a defender. That hits someone on the way, and a good win from Cap. Boonshoe sends it upfield. And Cap kind of just hoping if they send one enough upfield, either Bentley or Gordon or someone's going to get loose enough behind that defense to have some room to operate and do some damage. Throw in coming. It's tossed in. It's outside the box. 3.5 minutes to go. Another ball kicked out of bounds. So another throw in coming for John Carroll. And we'll see a substitute for John Carroll as Mikey Burrington comes back in. Sam Spurk, who's had a lot of late goals in his freshman campaign for the Crusaders. He's in as well. Thrown in. Headed away by who else but Wu. Cap trying to settle it. That's off John Carroll, so a throw in coming. Robson replaced. He's limping a little bit. We've seen him shucking up a couple of times tonight. Trevor Collins, by the way, he's on the field in crutches with his shoe off. I don't know if it's severe enough for crutches to be absolutely necessary, but potentially an ankle sprain or something going on with one of his ankles. So that's of note. Collins this season has been mostly a substitute, but he does have a goal and an assist and has played in all 10 games, all 11, including tonight. Collins on the sideline during the break was firing the team up. Said, this is our home field. We don't lose at home. Trying to hold serve in conference, and winning at home is very important. They understand that. Two minutes left in the first overtime. It's been mostly John Carroll controlling it. They did start with the ball as well in the circle in the opening kick of overtime, so Cap will get to do the honors if we go to a second. .130 left to go. The Blue Streaks pushing on. It's towards the net. It's headed, and it's going wide. Kind of had to hold your breath there to see where that one was headed. So 75 clicks of the clock left. Headed on by John Carroll, right back by Wu, and once more from Ionero. A lot of headers. Deeper and deeper into John Carroll territory. Finally a foot after about 7 or 8 headers back and forth and back and forth. Another win for Cap, but it's off of the foot of Boonshoe sideways. And John Carroll will take over as a result. Now Wu stepping in. Look at Brandon Wu's effort here. He's called for a foul. Physical defense from Wu. A little bit too physical, I guess. And getting a little bit chippier again, as we saw towards the end of the first half. Big set piece coming with 20 seconds left. It hits the wall that Capital formed. Muskovic trying to dive and header it away. 15 seconds left. Just got to steer this thing out of bounds, really. It's dribbling around in the box. Boy, just got to kick that one out of bounds. It doesn't hurt Capital. And the final seconds tick away. Well, one overtime wasn't enough. How about another? We will play 10 more minutes after another break of 5 minutes to try to find a winner. going to get started a little early here. Both teams getting ready to go. About a minute and a half early, so we hope everyone's back. We didn't use the full 5 minutes there. Cap will start with it, and they're going to come down to the right side now as well. Switching sides. So we get a look at the players on this side a little bit more with Brandon Wu again. John Carroll gets the steal. We'll reset the field here again after this push from the Blue Streaks. To the front of the net. Offsides called against Jared McDowell. Cersasimo out there with Rossitz, Shute, Turretin, McDowell, Burrington, Nero, Lutz, Nigro, Furcorn, and McIntosh. For Capital, it is Moraes, Gordon, Boonshoe, Wu, Robson, Knox, Shepard, Taylor, Niemeyer, Boonshoe, Weidman. Speaking of Robson, he's the one with it there on the high sideline. That ball is still in bounds somehow. Weidman will wait and wait and wait and now kick it upfield. Boonshoe drops it back to Wu. Actually, Niemeyer will step up. And it's headed on by Boonshoe. Robson hitting it forward. Went off Shepard. He's playing a lot more of an attacking midfield role than normal. Trying to keep the pressure on. Here's Wu. Man on. And a good slide tackle from McDowell, but he dribbles it out of bounds. Big throw in from Knox. 8 minutes left to find a winner. Otherwise, we're going to be tied up 0-0, and both teams will have 7 points 3 games into the season. In conference play, that is. Which at the end of the day, I mean, obviously you want to get the win. It's not the worst situation, and for John Carroll, really, it's probably a win more for them because obviously they're the road team. And the way the schedule breaks for Capital, they get just 4 home games this year. So it's even more critical for them to not get the 3 points tonight. And they are on the road at Mount Union, an angry Mount Union team that's now 1-2 and was nationally ranked 13th just a week ago. So that's going to be quite a challenge as well on the 14th. They do have Marietta at home on the 11th first. But that game is lurking down the distance here from Capital. Let's see if they can do something here tonight, though. Get the 3 points and worry about that battle when it comes. Scharfenberger replacing Taylor. 6:43 left to go. Looking for a game winner from somebody. It's a throw-in from Knox, not a corner. It bounces. It's loose. And a volley towards McIntosh. The rebound is a goal! Who else but Chewy Gordon to give the victory to the Crusaders? An absolute blast sent towards McIntosh, and it caroms right to Gordon, who beats McIntosh. A lot of room to shoot there, and it finds the back of the net. What a beauty. Chewy Gordon's conference leading 15th goal of the season. And it gives Capital a victory, just as we were discussing how big those 3 points are. So 9 points for Cap. They start 3-0 in conference play, and they knock John Carroll back into a 5-way tie for second place at 2-1 with Ohio Northern, Wilmington, Otterbein, and Heidelberg. Big win to hold serve here at home for Capital in double overtime. A full write-up of this one will be available on the web, athletics.capital.edu. This will be a fun one to celebrate tonight for the Crusaders. They get the win and move to 3-0 in conference play. We'll see you again on Wednesday as we play host to an 0-3 Marietta side. That's going to be a 7 o'clock start here on the Capital Sports Network. We'll see you at about 6:50, 10 minutes prior to kickoff. We'll break down this one as part of that pregame. But for now, the Crusaders will celebrate and ring the victory bell here tonight in double overtime. Chewy Gordon finds the game winner. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm Jimmy Bloomfield signing off. We'll see you next time on the Capital Sports Network.